What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is Put a Ring on It, season 2, episode 4. So listen, this was actually probably the best episode so far because there was a whole lot of action and a whole lot of movement going on. But let me say this from the beginning. Let me just break down these 3 couples before I move further, okay? So Lashandra and Sean, or LaRonda and Sean, whatever. Okay, so they both decide that they're gonna go on a second date with the people they went on a date with. As far as LaRonda is concerned, I feel like she really wasn't all that pressed about going out with Sir James. I feel like she mad because she allowed herself to not go on the second date with dude from the last episode. I really feel like that's who she really wanted a second date with. But she said that morning the 2 of them were arguing, and the fact that he was acting like a jerk really made it easier for her to make this decision. So she decided to go on a second date really out of spite, and really because in her mind she missed the boat on the last person that she probably really wanted to go out on a date with. Then Sean decides he gonna go out on a second date with Brittany, and that's really out of retaliation. Because if she ain't go out on the second date, his ass won't thinking about Brittany. He won't thinking about going out on no second date with Brittany. He ain't concerned about going out on no second date with Brittany, at least right now. Now, by the end of this, might be a different conversation. But right now, it was all retaliation, okay? Now, we get over here to Eric and Jessica. Let me break down Mr. Eric and Miss Jessica. Eric decided he wasn't going on no second date. He said, listen, it was a good conversation, but I ain't really attracted to her, so ain't no need to even continuing. Bring me somebody else. Jessica decides that she's going to go out on a second date with her dude, Clarence. Let me tell you something. Jessica is playing games. Jessica is playing games. Jessica is going through this process to get his attention, to get Eric's attention, and she's kind of getting her feelings hurt a little bit. And let me tell you why. Because remember what Eric said to her last week, that he could talk to Tanisha, I think is what the young lady's name was, that he could talk to Tanisha and he had a good conversation and it was more than surface. And what did she say about Clarence? We can talk and his interest in me is more than sexual. Girl, you said the same thing he said. But when he said it, you got in your feelings and you felt some kind of way about it. But now that you coming from a different angle, now all of a sudden it's a different situation. Girl, bye. Jessica's playing games. She's trying to get Eric's attention. She playing with fire and her ass might end up getting burnt. But I don't know. Out of these 3 couples, they actually the couple that I think is going to stay together when it's all over said and done. But neither here nor there. Now let's go ahead and get into Smoke. I'm just going to call him Smoke because I feel like I've been saying his name wrong this whole time. Let's get into Smoke and Alexia. We're going to call her Lex. I knew this couple had issues when we found out they've been dating for 14 years and they not close to marriage. I'm just not sure what you're waiting for. I might as well just go ahead and start with them and just keep it moving because they're going to be the bulk of this conversation. Anyway, so, of course, he decided he's going to go on another date with Kai. Date number 3. Baseball. 3 strikes, you're out. Okay. Lex decided she's not going to go out on another date, right? She cool. She good. Now, Dr. Nicole decides that the only dates that are going to happen this week are the repeat dates. So Eric and Lex are not going to go out on a date because they're not going to give them anybody new. They're just going to let the repeat dates happen. Okay? So let's get to Smoke and Lex for a minute. Smoke and Lex we got a little bit more insight, a little more information on this whole dynamic that is Smoke and Lex. Now, we found out, yes, we know they've been dating for 14 years, and we also knew that it was on again, off again 14 years. I feel like that there was some overlap in the on again and the off again as it relates to some babies. We found out that Smoke got 3 kids that were all conceived during this on again, off again 14-year time period. Now, and by 2 different baby mamas, which means that you dipped in twice. Twice. So let me say this. Here's my point of view on that situation. Those babies may very well have come at a time of break or when they weren't together, but it still had to be messy. And I would be willing to put a little change, not a lot, just a little bit. I'd be willing to put some change on the fact that not all 3 of them babies came at a break. You feel what I'm saying? Lex said, listen, I'm 30-something years old and I'm ready to have my churn. He said he's open to having more kids with her. And he absolutely is. So, first thing we see is an argument between Smoke and Lex, right? We find out, again, getting some more insight. They also have a condo in downtown Atlanta. Because I'm assuming they live like, they probably live like an hour outside of the city, something to that effect. So they have a condo which is close to his studio so that when he's working late, hey, he can just stay there for the night, and it is what it is. I get it. I understand. A lot of people do that when they live out in the suburbs and they got that kind of money. They have something in there. A lot of people do that. Okay. We find out that there is... What Lex is saying is, I do not believe that he is necessarily cheating on me. What I will say is that his behavior has left the door open to interpretation that he is cheating on me. That's number one. Number two, his thing is, I have a problem with some of her guy friends because I think that their interest is not 100% pure and that they want more than a friendship. Her thing is, they're just friends. You don't have nothing to worry about. His thing is, I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about them. Now, let me separate some things here. I'm going to separate the fact that Smoke, I feel like you got some shit with you when it comes to this whole situation with Kai and this other thing. But let me say that there's some validity in what he is saying about, listen, I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about them because I know men and I understand that a man's intention may not always be what you think it is and how it presents itself. And I'm going to tell you why I'm kind of jumping on that bandwagon just a little bit is because when Kai said, because he said something about they're leaving smiley face emojis under your pictures on Instagram. Don't you worry about that. Don't worry about that. And then when they got to arguing, she said, well, they support me. They're there for me. He supports me. He's there when you're not there. So maybe you should be worried. Well, see, there it is. Because we're just getting one example. And generally, when people give examples, they give the silliest example because there's really some deeper shit. So the fact that he's leaving heart emojis or smiley face emojis with hearts under your picture, that really ain't the big issue. That's an element of it. But Smoke sees some things. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he a man and he be with the shits. And so he see one of them men with the shits. That's what it is. Lex is like, listen, your communication is bad. You will call me at 2 in the morning talking about something. I'm on my way home. You want something from the Waffle House. I never hear from you. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. You come walking in the door. Sir, there's way too much technology in this day and age for that to be a problem. You can shoot me a text. You ain't even got to talk to me if you don't want to talk to me. Shoot me a text saying, listen, I'm still stuck at the studio. I ain't going to make it. You might want to cancel that waffle order. Like, there's so many different ways you can handle it. So when Dr. Nicole, so of course they end up in this whole big argument. So Dr. Nicole comes to talk to them. And again, they get to arguing and Dr. Nicole is like, wait a minute, you are like on 20. Like, you are like on 100. Like, I'm going to need you to bring it down. And he's calling Lex all kinds of liars and stuff. So Lex brings up an example of All-Star Weekend. Remember, All-Star Weekend was in Atlanta this year. She said, listen, we had made plans to stay at the condo for the weekend because everything was going on in Atlanta. We was going to be partying. We was going to do stuff. Remember, she played in the WNBA. I'm sure she still does things. She said on one of her dates that she was talking, she said that, she still does, player development for the Atlanta Hawks or something to that effect. So she works in the field. So she probably was not just partying, but working that weekend. Well, she said that she was waiting on him for them to do something or another. And he just never showed up. He never called. He never showed up. And it makes her question, well, where the hell were you? What were you doing? It was All-Star Weekend. I'm at the condo waiting for you. So then she brings up another example of how you leave town and don't even tell me. Like, I found out once you were already out of town. And he was like, she lied. That ain't never happened. That I don't do that. I don't do that. Da, 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 da. So let's be clear. That may have only happened once or twice. It doesn't matter. It should never have happened. She never said that that is what you always do. She never said that you never let her know when you're going out of town and what the situation is. She said that our communication is bad because there are times when this has happened and has led me to question your fidelity. So he's not hearing, he's not processing because he's ready to respond instead of listening to understand. Okay? So we're going to get back to the two of them. Let's talk about some of these situations and some of these dates. So LaRonda goes on her date with Sir James. They go bowling, and they seem to have a good time. Both of them are competitive. They're having a good conversation and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, she essentially says, I like him, but I felt like he wasn't really, I feel like I was leading the conversation and he wasn't really asking me a lot about myself and really didn't seem too vested in wanting to learn about me or know more about me. And I kind of need that. Okay. So she thought he was cool, but that's Then we had Sean and his date. So he met Brittany down to the studio. He could hear her singing, and she was in the booth singing a song, yada yada yada, yang yang yang. And they talked a little bit, but he kind of cut it short and was kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of over this. Yeah, because you never really wanted to go on a date. You weren't really interested in going on a date with Brittany. But then I feel like he decided to go out on a third date with Brittany. We'll get to that. So then we have Smoke going out on his third date with Kai. They went down to the go-kart. They seemed like they had a good time. They're talking afterwards. And, Miss Kai, we found out she's a single mom and she's starting her own business. And she's kind of, that's kind of what it is. But the thing I don't like about Miss Kai is, she's talking about something, if I want them, I can have them. Let me explain something. This is my opinion. I really feel like producers told these people these dates to kind of rev up the flirting, maybe put a little bit more pressure than from last season. One, to create better TV or more, But two, again, if this is an experiment to see, if they can be good under pressure, then you want to really apply the pressure. And I feel like that's what Kai is doing. Do I think she might really be interested in Smoke? Maybe. But I do think a lot of the pressure is coming from her being pushed in that direction. Now, I could be wrong, but I kind of feel that way. So we get back to Dr. Nicole. Oh, I'm sorry, Jessica's date. Jessica went out with Clarence. They did a little workout date. So, of course, she got on her little workout gear and they're doing exercises, yang, 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 yada, yada, yada. It was okay. Like, I feel like there was flirting going on. But again, I feel like it was led by Jessica because I feel like Jessica is trying to prove a point. And I feel like she playing games. She told him to take his shirt off and she flirting, whatever. And the reason why I said all that is because when they went back to Dr. Nicole and she was sort of recapping her date, she made sure to mention that he took his shirt off and he had a nice body, yada, yada. No reason to really do that unless you're trying to make somebody jealous, in my opinion. So, excuse me. So we get to Dr. Nicole, and like I said, I done kind of already went down the line with some of this, but Rhonda and Sean, like I said, she decided she didn't want a second date. He decided he wanted a third date with Miss Brittany. A third date. He decided he wanted a third date with Miss Brittany, talking about something, well, because after Dr. Nicole gave him the whole speech about y'all got to really and fully embrace this experiment, and you can't be afraid, you got to see what happens and really put yourself out there to make sure that this is, yada, yada, this is the reason for the experiment type of thing. So he was like, well, I guess you do have to play with fire. I guess I'm going to jump in the fire a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and go on a third date with Brittany. Now, I didn't feel like he was all that pressed about the second date, but maybe that was my interpretation. I don't know. Maybe people saw something I didn't see. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all saw something I didn't see, because I didn't see it. I'm just saying, I didn't see it. Maybe y'all saw something I didn't see. I didn't see it. So, like I said, Jessica, she talks about her date with Clarence, and again, she gets into the, she gets into the whole, and he was nice and he was cute and we had a good conversation and he was sexy, but she didn't like the fact that, like, she was asking him questions about, his ex-wife and was it, why did it end and all of that. But when he started trying to ask her questions about, well, you've been with this dude, why y'all ain't talking about marriage? Why y'all ain't talking about this? well, I don't want him in my business. I need to be asking him questions. Well, how do you get to know somebody if it's a one-sided conversation? That don't even make no sense. You can't have a one-sided conversation. That just don't make no sense. So she decided, I feel like, I'm almost certain she said she didn't want a third date, that he was nice and everything, but no, just no. Okay. So now we are back to Lex and Smoke. This fool says that they did have a chance to talk after Dr. Nicole left, and he sat down and went through the receipts and the pictures and actually broke down the timeline of what happened All-Star Weekend, and Lex understands now, and so it did help them. It helped them dialogue better. You needed Dr. Nicole to tell you that was a good idea. You come home after being MIA for however many hours you were MIA. She's pissed off. She's going off, because I don't feel like that's the first time y'all had that argument. I don't believe it. At no point in time did it occur to you to say, babe, look at my phone. Look, these are the pictures. This is when I fell asleep. This is what happened. You mean to tell me it never occurred to you to do that before? You didn't feel like she deserved that? You didn't feel like you owed that to her? Again, that's not about her being clingy. That's not about her being insecure. That is about the fact that y'all made plans. You stood her up on a weekend like All-Star Weekend, and she ain't supposed to feel no kind of way about that. Anyway. So when it came down to him saying whether he gonna go on another date or not, he decides he's going to go on a 4th date with Kai. Dr. Nicole going to ask Lexi how she feel about it. She said, you want to know how I feel about it? This how I feel about it. She going to tell Eric, move your feet, please. Baby, because she wanted to make sure she had a clear path for her escape, okay? She said, when I walk off, I want it to be clear. I don't want to have to step over nothing. I ain't trying to trip on TV, okay? And she proceeds to get up and walk out. And let me tell you something. I ain't mad at her. I'm here with you, girl. I understand that this is a TV show that y'all signed up for, and I understand there's a process. But guess what? My heart is involved. My feelings are involved. And like she said, you ain't about to embarrass me on national TV. Like, you are legit dating this woman. Listen, 1 date, 2 date, maybe 3 date. But baby, after the 3rd day, y'all dating. Y'all are dating. The other thing he brought up early on was that their sex life ain't what he thought it was going to be, what he wanted it to be, and all it was cracked up to be. I ain't getting into that. They've been together for 14 years. You done had 3 babies. Clearly, listen, you can rekindle that. You can get your sex life back. You can do that. You can get that back intact, child. You can get back. I ain't worried about that. We hit it. I mean, I feel like for every married couple, a couple that's been together longer than 5 years, we always hear about the sex being an issue. Like, that happens, okay? You just got to figure out a way to keep it cute, keep it sweet, keep it young. And like she said, when you pissing me off, it make me not want to have sex with you. When I feel like you might be with somebody else or cheating on me, it make me not want to have sex with you. So listen, that's all. That comes in with that. Just comes in with the territory. So yeah. Then he don't understand why she mad. And then he wants to make it about Kai. Why you don't like this girl? Do you understand it's not about Kai? Do you understand that that woman's name could be Shirley, Barbara, Sue, Ann, Michelle? It could. Do you understand that woman's name could be literally anything? It's not about the woman. It's not about Kai. It is about this situation and the fact that you have decided that you were dating this woman. Do you understand that? Anyway, y'all, that's it. That's all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments, please.